Hello my dear students, welcome to today's class, and the topic for the day is wastewater management. Everyone is dependent upon water. Without water, no life. From morning to night, we are dependent on water. When we get up in the morning, we go to the washroom, we brush our teeth, we take a bath, we take our meals, everything we are getting from water. Whatever we are eating, if there is no water, we won't be able to cook. So water is very important, children. Okay, so but whenever water is used, it gets wasted also. Like if I talk about in the morning, when we do brushing, we brush our teeth, the water, it is going into the drain. Okay, now that water has to be treated again. The total surface area of the earth, if I talk about, 3/4 of is water, and only 1% of water is fit for drinking. We should conserve water because water is limited. The drinking water is limited to us. We should not waste water. So before that, let me tell you something about water more. As you all can see on your screens also, water is an important natural resource that we use in our daily life. Life is not possible without water. So we should use water judiciously. Okay, we should use it properly. We should not waste water. Okay. Now, what are the different sources of water? Wastewater. Like I told you in the morning, when you're brushing your teeth, you're taking a bath, the water which is going into the drains, okay, that is wastewater. How it should be treated, how can we consume it again? Okay, first, what are the different sources of wastewater? First is household activities like washing, cleaning, cooking generate a lot of wastewater. When we cook, we wash the vegetables also, we wash the utensil also, that is again we are wasting water. Okay, now use of water for irrigation in fields eventually leads to dirty water flowing from the fields. Then construction of buildings generate large amount of dirty water. Okay, industries and factories generate huge amount of wastewater laden with toxins and harmful chemicals. Hospitals and offices generate wastewater. Okay, then mining also contribute to wastewater generation. Fine. Wastewater is also known as sewage. A water carried waste in solution for suspension form that is to be removed from a community. The waste in the solution or suspension are pollutants that pollute the water bodies and causes waterborne disease. Every household generates wastewater every day. That is very true. We cannot think of a life without water. Even for, if I talk about 2-3 hours, we cannot stay without water. So water is very important, and everyone is consuming also and wasting it also. Okay, now coming to the next topic, sewage system. Okay, what is sewage system, children? A network of pipe that collects wastewater from an area and bring it to the main collecting point of the city is called the sewer system. The sewer systems are built under the ground so that foul smell and the exposure to air can be prevented. You must have seen holes on road covered with a heavy metal shield. These are actually called manholes. What are sewers? It's an area where all the consumed dirty water is collected, because this dirty water has a very foul smell. Foul means dirty smell. You cannot tolerate the smell of that, and moreover, different gases are also formed. So what happens? This water has to be underground, and you must have seen on the roads, big the roads are covered with the roads are covered with a heavy metal shield, and these are called manholes. As you can see on the screen also, this is a manhole. When there is a blockage in the pipes, the water run under the ground. Plumbers enters this hole and repairs the blockage. Why is this the whole cover is there? In case the blockage is there, kahin par pani ruk jata hai, the plumbers, what do? They open this cover and go inside it, and whatever the thing is stuck into it, they remove it, and then the water flows again. Okay, We should be more careful when the area is flooded. An open manhole is very dangerous as you may get swept away by water and fall into it. Fine, children? Then, wastewater treatment plant. The sewers lead to main pipes that carry the sewage to the wastewater treatment plants. The wastewater gets treated here in three distinct major steps. They are primary treatment, secondary treatment and tertiary treatment. First is the primary treatment. What is primary treatment, children? It is a mechanical process where the solid material in the wastewater is separated. Wherever, what do these plants do? First of all, whatever impurities that are not dissolvable in water, okay, like it can be faces, it can be dirt, it can be silt, it can be polybags, it can be dead animals, anything it can be, okay, they are removed in the primary treatment. First, we remove all the impurities of the water which are not soluble, and that is done in the primary treatment. Fine. Now, the next one, the sewage is made to pass through the vertical bars and grit chambers. It removes iron objects, plastic, cloth, cans and human faces. The grit chamber helps in removing sand. All other solid particles in the water settle down here. Okay, whatever the heavy particles are there in the water which are not soluble, they are removed in the primary treatment. Fine. Now, what happens in secondary treatment now? While primary treatment was a mechanical process, secondary treatment is a biological process. It is made to pass through chambers lined with a biofilm of bacteria that degrade the organic waste present in the water. This process is called anaerobic digestion and results in the release of biogas. The water is then passed through the aeration tank. Here the amount of air in the water is increased by blowing air into it. This is done because a high amount of oxygen in the water will speed up the cleaning process. Primary treatment, what we were doing, we were removing all the insoluble impurities. But in secondary treatment, this is not done by mechanical process. It is done through a biological process. It is made to pass through chambers lined with a biofilm of bacteria. Okay, fine, children. Now come to the third treatment, that is tertiary treatment. From the aeration tank, the water is passed on for tertiary treatment. This is a chemical process in which chemicals are added to the water to kill germs and remove toxic materials. Here what was happening in the primary treatment, all insoluble things were removed. In secondary treatment, we were treating it through a biological process, and in the third treatment, that is tertiary treatment, it is treated by, what are we doing? We are adding chemicals over here. Okay, we are adding chemicals over here, and once the chemicals are added, it kills the germs, it kills the bacteria which are in the water. The water is exposed to ultraviolet rays to kill pathogens. Chlorine tablets are added to kill germs. Fine. Now, you can see this water treatment plant is there on your screens. See. What is here? You can see it where this is beautifully explained also. Mechanical treatment is given here. Then primary settling tank, then activated slush process is there, secondary setting tank is there. Okay. Then what are we doing? We are adding some chemicals and oils. We are adding chlorine. Okay. Here, or this diagram is a beautiful example. Beautifully they have explained you. You can go through it. Okay. Now, coming to next, what happens to the treated water? Okay. Now, the treated water is released into water bodies from where canals and pipe connections are made to take to this water to household in that area. This water can be again used for various domestic and industrial activities. Fine, children? Now, where does the sludge go? The sludge that comes out of the sedimentation tank is rich in organic material. It contains human faces and domestic waste like vegetable peels and food materials. The water present in the sludge is thickened and carried to farmland where it can be converted to composite. It is done by three efficient methods. They are dewatering, incarnation and solid compositing. See children, in the first treatment, if you remember, all the solid particles which are not dissolved in the water, they are left behind. Okay, what all is there? We get a sludge. Sludge, what is there in the sludge? Human faces are there. Then vegetable and fruits peels are there. Then there are many food particles. What are we doing? We are collecting that from the primary treatment plant and we are taking that to the fields now. Okay, that is to be taken to the farmlands where the farmers, and through mechanical process, what they will do, they will change it into other composite. Okay, that can be made into manure. We can add them to our fields and increase the fertility of the soil. Okay, then here there are by three methods it is converted. First is dewatering. As I told you, it is a removal of water from the sludge. Then incarnation, it is the process in which sludge is burned to ashes, and the solid compositing is the oldest form of disposal. It is a natural process of decomposition of that farm manure or compost, which is very rich in nutrients. Composite is a biological process in which microorganisms, mainly fungi and bacteria, convert degradable organic waste into humus-like substance. Fine, children? Now, next topic, as you all can see on your screens also, control of sewage generation. Okay, the topic is control of sewage generation. Sewage generation can be lessened if we follow certain practices regularly. Do not throw all garbage down the sink pipe. Okay, sometimes what are we doing? We become so careless. Whatever leftover is there, we are washing the utensils, that too is going into the drains. We should not do that. Whatever the leftover is in the plate, we should collect it and throw in the dustbin separately instead of putting it in the drains. Then leakage of pipes should be repaired immediately. Flowing of wastewater in an open gives rise to air pollution and land pollution. It causes waterborne diseases and may contaminate clean water also. Then never throw cosmetics in the drain. They contain chemicals that mix with the wastewater. What are we doing? Whatever the cosmetics are there, we are throwing that also, okay, in the drain. We should not do that because those cosmetics, they contain chemicals which what are they doing? The chemicals are entering the drain and entering the water, and that way it is polluting the wastewater also. So children, you can see on your screen, the next topic is methods of sewage disposal. Now, first is septic tank. Children, every house mostly have got a septic tank. Whatever waste is there, it from the drains and pipes, it is getting collected over there. Okay, and there in the septic tank, there are a lot of bacteria over there which are working on it. Okay, the water is left drained out, but the leftover, the solid thing is left over there, like human faces, vegetable peels and silt, sand and silt, and there the bacteria is acting upon that, and what is it turning? That leftover is turned into manure. Okay, so septic tanks, also known as on-site disposable systems, are built in cities that help in managing the wastewater. The wastewater from household passes through the pipes and enters the septic tanks built under the ground. Okay, now the next one is vermicomposting toilets. Vermicomposting toilets. What is happening in vermicomposting is a method in which water is decomposed by earthworms. In vermicomposting toilets, the same method is used to degrade human excreta by earthworms. Okay, what are we adding in? We are adding in earthworms in the pits. Okay, then the next one is biogas plant. Okay, the next is biogas plant. Biogas plants are mostly built in villages and small towns. The domestic wastewater with the solid waste flows through the pipes into the biogas plant. Here the bacteria degrade the organic matter and releases biogas. What is there? In these biogas plants, the whole water it is entering in over there and lot of bacteria are there. Now what do these bacteria do? They act on these uh, waste and degrading the organic matter into degrading the organic matter and at the same time releasing gas also. Biogas is a gas produced from the degradation of organic matter by bacteria in the absence of oxygen. Biogas generated is used as fuel for cooking and to generate electricity. Okay. Now the next one, improper management of sewage. That is a very common in a country like India. Okay. And if I talk about our small towns and cities, it is a major problem. People are facing a very hard time. They are not getting then the roads and all, they are all dirty, they are all blocked up. Okay, due to which we are suffering a lot. Okay, people are very careless in managing the waste generated at home. They directly dispose of the waste or garbage into water bodies, polluting it. Improper handling of sewage system by professionals also lead to leakage of wastewater in the open. The rivers Ganga and Yamuna receive tons of wastewater every day. Being considered open sewers, the wastewater collected from cities and nearby places is dumped into these water bodies without pre-treating them. Any animal dies, we put in the water. Okay. Everyone is polluting the water these days. They are not aware what they are actually doing. They are harming themselves. Okay. This contaminated water gives rise to germs that cause waterborne diseases like cholera and jaundice. The leakage of pipes in the sewer system is mostly looked over. Dirty water from these pipes often sweep out and percolate into the soil and causes contamination of groundwater as well. Sometimes what happens, the sewer pipes, they are leaked, and what happens, the water from the sewer gets mixed with the water pipes, and what is happening, even the water which is coming into a tap, sometimes it has got germs because the water, the underground leakage was there, which we were not aware of, and what is happening, the dirty water is coming in the taps now. Fine, children. Now next topic is eutrophication. Okay, the effluent given out by factories carries chemicals and toxins with it. This process of washing away of fertilizers is called leaching. Leaching results in the accumulation of fertilizers in the water body where it is dumped. Accumulation of fertilizers cause algal bloom in water bodies. Algal bloom is a thick growth of algae in the water body covering its entire surface. This is called eutrophication. The algae use almost all oxygen present in the water, that the rest of the aquatic plants die due to lack of oxygen. Now what is happening, as all the fertilizers they are washed in the water, wherever this water is collecting in the lakes and ponds, what is happening, due to this increase in the fertilizers, what is happening, algae starts growing over there, and this algae is using all the oxygen of the water, which was actually to be used by the plants and other animals which are inside the water. Now what is happening, as the algae is there, the oxygen content of that water goes down, and due to which the other plants and animals which are in the pond or the lake, they die. Fine, children. Now a very common problem, sanitation in public places. Okay, this is very important, children. Following proper sanitation is a must in public areas, but we people are least bothered. Hamara ghar saaf, baki jaye sab kuch bekar. Okay, our homes are clean, that is all we are worried about. We throw all our garbage outside our house, making the entire society dirty, making our surroundings dirty. Okay? Littering, spitting, urinating, and throwing of waste out in the open should be avoided. These wastes finally find their way into pipes and clog them, causing overflow of dirty water. They also cause public inconvenience and a breeding place for many insects and germs that cause diseases. Whenever there is a heavy rainfall, these wastes flow into the water and clog pipes. Water should be swept away and not be allowed to stagnate in public places. Fine, children? So with this, we end the chapter. I hope you have understood it. Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.